Good evening. There have been calls for a review of security arrangements in Londonderry after a dissident Republican protest forced a short rerouting of the Olympic torch. There are concerns about the possible impact of such protests during Derry's City of Culture year. Mervyn Jess reports.
Since setting off from the south of England over a fortnight ago, it's all gone mostly to plan. And then the Olympic torch arrived in Derry and was forced to make a detour, albeit a very slight one. A crowd of dissident Republicans protesting against policing surged forward. Scuffles broke out as PSNI officers tried to keep them back. The torch-bearer and escort party were forced to change route through the city to avoid the incident near the Foyle Peace Bridge. An assembly member for the SDLP was nearby at the time.
I don't think it could have been prevented with extra policing. I personally think it could have been prevented with less policing. We will have to look at how things were handled and organised when we are hopefully going to have so many more events next year, and that I think we can learn from this.
The big fear now will be that the dissident elements behind this protest will look upon this as the template upon which they will base their objections and their protests next year. We need to review the security implications for the 12 months after we've seen what can be done in one day.
One person was arrested during the incident and is due to appear in court later this month. Mervyn Jess, BBC Newsline.
Today, the Olympic torch has been continuing its relay uninterrupted, making the journey from Derry to Newry. And we can go live now to Newry and join Sarah Travers.
Yes, Donna, well, the fabulous weather of the previous 2 days didn't last, unfortunately, today. Here in Park Esler tonight, though, the evening celebration to welcome the torch to Newry is in full swing behind me. Hoods up, umbrellas up. The kids are all having a great time, all waiting for the final torchbearer of the day, Ryan Cinnamon, to arrive in here at about 6:45 this evening. Now, despite the weather, the crowds turned out to cheer on the torchbearers as it made its journey down the west today and across then towards Newry. The flame, though, did get some respite from this weather when it went deep underground in County Fermanagh, as Julian O'Neill reports.
Overground and now underground, the Olympic journey is touching all corners. The flame lit up Marble Arch Caves, not as part of the torch relay, but as a unique photo opportunity. Bobbling Wood was attracting attention as the oldest torchbearer, aged 93. His slow but steady progress helped bring the relay into Omagh, where Olympic fever had gripped the main street.
It's a very historic occasion, and I'm sure in my lifetime I'll never see the Olympic flame being carried through Omagh again.
The pace picked up in Enniskillen. 12-year-old Angus Keys looked like he enjoyed every second. For others, the sound of bagpipes stirred up the anticipation. In Armagh, the mood was one of celebration. Scores of balloons were released as the flame was passed between two young people.
It's a great privilege to have the Olympic torch coming here to Armagh, and for me it's a real honour. 64 years ago my uncle competed in the Olympic Games, and as you can see, this is the blazer he was wearing on that day.
Very proud of Garth today and all his friends that have come from all around to see him.
More than 400 people will carry the torch in this region, and its flame will burn brightly here for 2 more days. Julian O'Neill, BBC Newsline.
Well, back at Park Esler tonight, Ryan Cinnamon, a double amputee, will light the cauldron on the stage behind me. I'm joined now by his mum Peggy and his brother Danny. Such an emotional day today, because just tell us what happened to Ryan.
Well, it's just 18 months ago, Sarah, that Ryan suffered an aneurysm in his stomach which ruptured, and he ended up losing his 2 lower limbs because of it, through the knee, his legs. So for him to come in carrying this torch, it's a culmination of a lot of hard work and dedication and tears and everything.
Now, brother Danny, you're just one of 4 brothers and a sister. And Ryan is wearing artificial legs, these sea legs, so it really is a miracle that he's here and doing this tonight.
Oh yeah, as my mum said, 18 months ago we were in ICU in Belfast, and it's an absolute testament to his character that he's carrying the torch out here tonight. He's an absolute inspiration to me, he's an inspiration to the family, he's an inspiration to the whole of Newry as well. And how are his nerves? He's looking really forward to it. He doesn't give too much away, but he's really going to enjoy it. I know it's going to be really emotional, but we're all together here as a family and we're going to cheer him on the whole way.
All right, well, we will be speaking to Ryan after he lights the cauldron on the stage at about 10 to 7 this evening. Do tune in to our late bulletin at 10:25 when I'll have an interview with Ryan. For now, though, it's back to the studio from a wet Newry, Donna.
Yes, and we'll have a forecast in a moment. It will soon be time to pack up the street party decorations because the Queen's Diamond Jubilee celebrations are drawing to a close. For some, it will be a case of over, but not forgotten. Julie McCulloch reports.
For anyone looking for a little something to remind them of the Diamond Jubilee, there is plenty to choose from. At this shop in East Belfast, they have everything from the traditional spoons and mugs to the more unusual crown-shaped air fresheners.
The big sellers, I think, will be the flags. There's quite a few new flags out and people like to decorate the streets, and the bunting too will be a big seller. I would say the Queen's been in the throne now for 60 years and it's a big event in everybody's life. It's not only her life, it's everybody's life. I think it's going to be huge and I hope I do, and I don't think I'm going to be wrong.
One woman who is sure it is going to be a huge event is 70-year-old Sally Watts. She describes herself as the Queen's biggest fan and has been collecting royal memorabilia since the coronation. She even has a dedicated Diana wall.
Collected a lot of Diana and I've collected spoons and photographs, as you can see. I love the photographs. I just look up to her so much. I think she's a wonderful lady.
And when the local women's centre was on the hunt for the right lady to play the lead role in their Jubilee celebrations, they didn't have far to look.
They came down and they just said that they would like to somebody for the Queen, and they says, well, no better place to ask than Sally, because she says, you don't know why to go in to buy her salute in her house. So she says, would you do it? So I said yes. So
Sounds like there is no better woman for the job. Julie McCulloch, BBC Newsline.
A lot of dusting there. Now, yesterday we had pictures of a visitor from Australia which has been spotted in County Tyrone. Well, our reporter Conor McCauley has been on the trail of the mysterious marsupial.
The lush grasslands of County Tyrone are about as far as you can get from the arid Australian outback. But that hasn't stopped a native species from bouncing through the fields and lanes here. This is the little fellow who turned up at the weekend, much to the amazement of locals. It's believed to be a wallaby, a type of small kangaroo.
I seen a load of cars up here and I asked my mum, I said, what's the story of all the commotion up there? And she said, did you not hear the news? And I said, no. She said, there's a kangaroo up in the fields.
We were sent to look for the animal, but after several hours of fruitless searching and a good soaking, we gave up.
Well, the big question must surely be, where is the BBC's wildlife unit when you need it? And it's not in Brantry in County Tyrone. Myself and my cameraman have gone through about half a dozen fields in pursuit of this wallaby. The suit trousers are wringing wet and there's no sign of the elusive marsupial.
Luckily, others had had more success than us in spotting the animal, which tends to come out at dusk.
I assume either somebody lost it or dropped it off or whatever. It's just hard to know. It didn't just come from Australia there on its own, that's for sure.
Wallabies eat grass and need plenty of water, and there's a plentiful supply of both in County Tyrone, so it'll hardly be in a hurry to hop off. Conor McCauley, BBC Newsline.
Well, now let's get the latest weather forecast. Here's Barra.
Thanks, Donna. A disappointing end to the bank holiday weekend. Grey, cold and wet. More wet weather to come as we go through this evening, and it will linger for a while around the coast, eventually turning drier from the southwest. A lot of cloud around tonight. Not much hope of seeing the transit of Venus at sunrise tomorrow. If you were hoping to see it, I would probably just stay in bed. Tomorrow we have some heavy showers following in behind that rain. It won't be a complete washout, however. There will be some drier spells at times too. The rain that we have today will eventually clear. Northeast across the UK, but behind that, across England and Wales and Ireland, we introduce a more of a showery regime. Some of the showers that we will see tomorrow will be heavy, slow-moving, and with some thunder and lightning as well. But temperatures will be back up to normal for the time of year at around about 17 degrees, but some heavy showers to come. Not perfect conditions for being out and about, and more unsettled weather for the end of the week.
Our late news is at the usual time of 10:25. Until then, bye-bye.
Next on.